All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to Fall Into Stillness. And today we'll begin at the top of your mat in easy pose if you're not already there. So just get nice and comfortable and get heavy in the sits bones. Place those hands on your knees. Have a nice tall spine. A gentle tilt in your chin down toward the ground. And we're going to begin today with something called bumblebee breath. And if you've never done it, we're going to make some audible noises. So if you're not comfortable doing something like that around people because you're self-conscious, just feel free to skip it and breathe, but don't stop breathing. But if you are comfortable, it's pretty simple to do. So we'll begin by taking our hands and covering your eyes with your middle three fingers. And we're going to go into kind of a sensory deprivation where we are going to close out the sounds and the sights around us. So with those hands over those eyes, take those thumbs and gently press into your ears, and you're going to block out the sounds. But before you do that, I'm just going to demonstrate how it's going to sound. So you'll take a deep inhale through your nose, and then you'll hum on the way out. And you'll do that till the full exhalation of your breath. And then you'll just continue at your own pace. So don't worry about what someone else around you is doing. Just concentrate on your breath, turning inward, and the sound of your own voice. So if you're ready to begin, before we close our ears, let's take a nice cleansing breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and let it go. Sounds good. One more time like that. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale to let it go. And now close those ears. Take a deep inhale through your nose and begin to hum. And then inhale again. And continue inhaling and humming out to the full exhale. Take one more inhale and then exhale to let it go. And then we can pause that breathing and come back to your nice normal breath. So slowly blink those eyes open. And let's make the way to stand at the front of your mat. And from here we'll come into mountain. So place those feet flat on the ground, anchoring the four corners of your feet into the ground and rolling those shoulders back. Palms facing forward, chin tilting down. Nice long line of extension from the feet to the top of your head. And from here we'll inhale, hands up to the sky. Exhale, hands down through prayer, down through center. Inhale, hands will sweep up to the sky. And exhale, let those hands fall through center. Two more like this. Inhale, hands sweep up. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, hands will sweep high to the sky. And then exhale, pause once you hit your third eye. So palms to your third eye. Close your eyes here. Stable in those feet, nice and steady. So today's class is about letting go. The season of autumn is about transformation. We start to turn inward. And it's a great time to think about those things that no longer serve your purpose. So at this time, I want for you to quietly and internally answer this question. What things do you want to let go of this season? And it could be material objects. It could be a job that you don't like, or even much deeper, perhaps a relationship that is no longer good for you. So just bring that to your mind's eye. And acknowledge it. And take an inhale here. And then exhale as you let your hands fall down to the ground and just let that thought go. We're going to let go of that this season. So make that your goal and your intention for this fall. Let's inhale, hands up to the sky. And then exhale, twisting the right arm behind you, left arm in front. Take a nice twist to the right. And then from here, we're going to bend our knees. And we're going to bring the right hand in front of you and just sit down in the chair with your hands in front of you. Take an inhale here. And on the exhale, swing that left arm behind and stand up and twist to the left. We're just going to turn that into a nice little flow. Inhale to bend those knees and arms extend out in front of you. And then exhale to open it up to the right this time. Inhale, sitting down. And exhale, opening to the left. Again, inhale and sit down. And exhale it open. Inhale again, sitting down. And exhale to open it. And we'll go through one more of those. Inhale to sit down. Exhale to open to the right. One more time. Inhale, sitting down. Exhale to open to the left. This time, come to forward. Inhale, both hands high up over your head. And then exhale, take those hands behind your back. You have the choice to either bring your fists to the sacrum, right to those dimples in your back, lower back, or you can always do reverse prayer and bring those fingertips high up your back. So just choose your medicine today, whatever feels good for you. Our feet are hip width apart. And just inhale here, and then exhale to slowly back bend, keeping that chin in a neutral position and allowing the bend to happen in that back so we're not cranking our neck up to the sky. Take one more inhale here and find some openness in those shoulders. Exhale to release those hands down by your side to come back to mountain. Let's inhale our hands up to the sky. Exhale, this time falling forward over the front of your legs. Once you get here, let that head dangle down to the ground. And let's inhale to come halfway up, hands to shins or floor. And then exhale, let that head fall to the ground once more. And then let's take our hands and let's go into bound hand forward fold. So you're going to grab those hands behind your back if it's available to you. If it's not, you can always place those hands on your back. But interlace those fingers and pull up out of the arms. All the time being cognizant of that breath. Let go of any tension you feel in that neck. Maybe you have to give it a little shake. Maybe you give it a big, deep breath into wherever you're feeling the tightness. So take one more inhale here, pulling those arms out a little bit more. And then exhale those hands down to the ground. Staying here with your head low, let's inhale to come halfway up. Exhale, let the head go down to the ground, hands to the ground, Step your right foot back to come into a low lunge. Release the knee and then come up into that low lunge, taking your hands up to the sky. Making sure that knee is right over that ankle of the left foot. Take one more inhale here and pull up out of the sides of the waist. Exhale, this time we'll release our hands back into that bound position. Interlace those fingers and then pull back in the low lunge with your hands bound behind your back. Breathe into that heart space. One more inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Now we'll inhale. Let's release our hands down to the ground. And we're going to come into tabletop. So slowly take that left foot back down so that you're in a nice tabletop, knees under shoulders, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. That would be a trick. Just get nice and stable. And once you're there, take that left leg, bend it, and pull it up off the ground. So we're coming into tiger pose. Just a little bit of fierceness before we go into the stillness. So from here, we're going to turn this into a flow. We're going to inhale, belly dips down, chin looks up. And on the exhale, pull that knee into your chest, curve your spine, chin to knee. And then inhale to open it, belly drops down, toe points up. Exhale, pulling it in. Inhale, pulling it up. Exhale, letting it come back in. One more like that. We'll inhale, pull that toe toward the sky. Pausing here, taking the right hand, grabbing behind you for the oh so loved half bow pose. Grab the left foot with that right hand and pull up out of that left leg like you're trying to get it away from the floor. A little bit of balance, a little bit of bend, but no breaking. One more inhale here. Exhale, release that knee down to the ground to come back to tabletop. And that pose right there is a good example of autumn. We're bound, we cling to things, but it feels good to let them go. So that's what we're trying to learn this season, is the art of letting go. So now we're going to come and tuck those toes and come up into downward facing dog. And there will not be many of these today, but just enough to make it a little spicy. From here, we're going to get a little weird. We're going to take our left foot and we're going to cross it. So scoot your right foot over beyond the center line of your yoga mat. So in downward facing dog, we're going to take our left leg and wrap it around our right. So we're in a cross-legged downward facing dog. From here, we're going to try not to take out your neighbor when we do this, but on an inhale, we're going to take our right foot, lift it out to the side, and then wrap it, or you're going to swing it around and over to the left side of your mat. And we're just going to walk ourselves and then do the left leg. Same way, we bring it around to the side and over. This time our right foot, we should take about 4 steps. Right leg up and cross. Left leg up and then cross over the front. And then we should arrive at the front with your right leg behind your left. So if you got lost in that whole sequence, that's okay. Just come to the front of your mat. Take your right foot around the left. So you're in a cross-legged forward fold. Again, you wrap that right leg around the left. Once you get here, we'll inhale to come halfway up. Exhale, let that head fall to the ground. And then inhale to come all the way up. Still in that cross-legged position. And then when you get to the top, interlace those hands. Leave the index fingers pointing up like we're going to shoot a gun, but we're not. And then we're going to tilt ourselves to the left. So inhale and start tilting to the left. So become heavy in that right foot to maintain your balance. And then inhale to come back up to standing. Exhale, release those hands down. Coming back to mountain to uncross those feet. Find that nice stable home base one more time. Let's inhale our hands up to the sky. And then we'll exhale to fall over our legs forward fold. Once you get here, we're going to go into that bind one more time. Inhale, your hands come behind your back, but this time interlace the opposite direction than feels comfortable for you. So do the way that feels a little bit weird. And then just breathe into the spaces that feel the tightness and the tension and let them go. Take one more inhale here. Maybe pull those hands back a little bit longer. Exhale, release those hands down to the ground. And then inhale to come halfway up. Exhale, let that head drop into forward fold. This time we'll step our right foot back into that, left foot back into that low lunge. So left foot back, right foot in front. Right ankle directly over that right knee. And then hands up to the sky once you feel stable in that low lunge. Take one more inhale as you pull those hands to the sky. And then exhale, release those hands behind the back. Again, interlace those fingers the opposite direction than you're comfortable in. And then pull back. And if it's not possible for you to interlace your hands, you can always just set those hands on your back somewhere. Breathe into that space and keep that neck in neutral alignment. Allow your breath to carry you deeper into that back bend. One more inhale there. And then exhale to release. Bring those hands down to the ground. Make your way to tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. This time, we're going to take our right foot up off the ground, coming into tiger on the other side. So right toes pointing forward. We'll be inhaling and dropping that belly down toward the ground. And exhaling to pull it all in and doming that back. Bring that right knee in. And then inhale, bring it out. And then exhale, let it all go as you bring it in. Tiger flow. Inhale, toes point up to the sky. Exhale, let it all go. One more like that. Inhale, nice and big and full. Exhale, knee to nose, let it go. Come back to tiger, toes pointing forward. Nice stable base before you take your left hand, grab your right foot, start to pull up so that right knee is pushing away from the ground. One more inhale here. And exhale to let that go. Come back to table. From here, we'll tuck our toes. Come up into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. And then this time we're going to cross the opposite feet. So this time we're going to scooch our left foot over toward the right side of your mat. Cross that right foot behind your left. So we're in a cross-legged downward facing dog. We'll get one more chance to get this right. It's kind of hard. So take a few breaths here. So we're going to take our left foot this time. We're going to inhale it up and around, stepping forward. And then now you're right. Inhale it out to the side and around. So you're walking toward the front of your mat. Another time, inhale left, around. And this time you should be somewhere near the top of your mat. And so once you get here, let's take our left foot around the right. So arrive at the front of your mat. This time your left foot is wrapped around your right. Head drops to the ground. Heavy in the head. Inhale to come halfway up. Exhale, let that head go. Inhale one more time to come halfway up. Exhale, let that head go. And then from here, let's come all the way up to standing. Inhaling, feet still crossed. Hands will interlace, everything except for the index fingers. This time, we're going to lean over to the right. Inhaling here, and then exhale to lean over to the right. Then inhale to come back to center. Exhale as you release, uncross those feet. Come into a nice mountain pose. This time we're going to take our feet hip width apart. And then we're going to inhale our hands up to the sky. And then exhale, fall over those legs once more. And then once you get here, we're going to go right into the yin portion of our class. Cross those arms, bend those knees, so there's a slight bend in your knee. Crossing your arms, making a cradle for your head. We're going to come into a pose that we call dangling. So you let that head get heavy. And we're decompressing the spine. Every breath allows you to go deeper and deeper into this pose. And with the help of gravity, you'll feel those back muscles start to release over time. We're going to hold here for about 1.5 minutes, since we've already been here a little bit. But remember with yin, if at any time it becomes too much and is too intense, use your wisdom to pull back. We're not trying to blow ourselves out in yin yoga. We're trying to find the edge, not blow out the tire. This is a great time to practice compassion toward yourself during this yin portion. If your mind is racing, don't beat yourself up. Your mind is meant to think. But let's learn to master our mind and use it to our advantage. So acknowledge the thoughts and let them go, and you control this hour. Take one more inhale here, nice and deep. And then exhale, release those hands down to the ground. Take those feet to the outer edge of your mat so that they're facing at 45-degree angles. And just sit down into the yogi squat, malasana. And then bring those hands to heart center, using those elbows to assist you. And if you want to grab that block and place it under your bottom, you can always do that right here. We'll just be here for 1 minute while we transition to the next thing. Maybe take a moment to close your eyes. With every breath, you feel the hips releasing and opening. And if you want to, before we come out of this, you can slowly start to shift your weight from right to left. Maybe just take in any movement that feels intrinsically good to you. And then one last nice deep inhale here. And then exhale those hands down to the ground to assist you up into a forward fold. So bring those toes back in toward the middle. And now hands to the ground, start to walk your feet back into downward facing dog. We're just passing through here. Once you arrive at the back of your mat, inhale your right foot halfway off the ground. Exhale to pull that right knee forward and to the front of your mat for sleeping swan. So the right leg forward, left toes will release down to the ground, so your left foot is flat onto the ground. Once you're here, find a nice tall spine and one big inhale. And then exhale to forward fold over the front of your right leg. Feel free to stick a block underneath of that right hip if you need to. And also know that if you need to stay up in a more erect position, that's okay too. We'll just be here for 2 minutes as we slow down the practice and get deep into the fascia of our body. Into a practice that has the power to heal your body, to heal old pains, And again, if that mind is wandering, take a moment to acknowledge the thought and let it go like a passing cloud. Take one more nice deep full inhale here before we slowly exit up and out. So bring those hands flat to the ground. And then once your hands are in front of you, we're going to tuck the left toes and take that right foot back to downward facing dog. Maybe take a second to wiggle out that hip if that feels good. Maybe walk out your dog. Just release that stagnant energy that has been stored up. Take one inhale here. Let's lift our left leg halfway off the ground. This time, bring the left knee to the front of your yoga mat. Coming into sleeping swan on the other side, release the front top part of that right foot. Inhale for a nice tall spine. And then exhale to fall into sleeping swan with the left foot in front. Again, feel free to put a block under the left hip if you need to. You can always roll up a towel too. You could even use your block for your forehead if that's comfortable as well. The difference between our yin yoga that we're doing now and the restorative that we're going to slip into toward the end of class is that with yin, we do feel sensation, and we're looking for the edge of that sensation to about 30 or 40% of your edge. And then that allows us to go deeper and deeper as the breath takes us further into that pose. Whereas with the restorative we'll be doing at the end, we're going to be looking for no sensation. We're going to try to become as peaceful and weightless as possible. So just about a minute more here. Take one more deep, very full inhale here. And then exhale to take those hands back to the ground to push your way back up and out of there. And then from here, your hands will be flat on the ground. We're going to come into that downward facing dog one more time. Take one more nice big inhale here. And exhale to release those knees to the ground. And then start to lower your belly to the ground as well. So come all the way onto your belly with your hands out in front of you to come into Sphinx pose. So forearms to the ground, hands will be spread wide in front of you, elbows directly under those shoulders. And this is a point too, which might be nice to have your block. If you want to take the option of placing that forehead on the block, it'll just help release the tension in the neck space. Or you can choose to not use it. Or you can even choose to bring your hands to prayer and place your head in those hands. So pick which one feels good for you. We'll be here for a few minutes. Make sure you're pulling that chest up and away from the ground. And aim that curve for the back of the lower back. Now is a good time to remind you that where your mind flows, the energy goes. So if your mind is wandering, it's totally normal in yin yoga, and it's probably the hardest part of yin, is to master that mind. Just know a little trick is to bring that intention and that concentration back on the breath. That's our anchor that's always here. Take one more nice full inhale here. And then exhale, you can release that block away from your forehead. You can start to lower that belly down to the ground and just give your arms just a quick break. But then we're going to push ourselves up and come onto your side. So I'm going to come onto my left side. Let's all come onto our left side here. Kind of like we're posing for a magazine, but we're not. So come into this pose, have your legs nice and long. And then you're going to have to play around with this to find the spot for your hand where you feel like you're able to hold yourself up, but you also feel a nice release on the left side of those ribs. So you don't want to be sagging in your shoulder. You want to be actively holding it up, but you want to be feeling that nice stretch along here. So you may have to walk those fingertips out. It depends on your body. So just find your point. Your hips will be on the ground, and we're really stretching the left side of our body, which often gets neglected in yin. We're only here for about 45 more seconds. Take one more full inhalation. Breathe deep into the left side of those ribs. And then exhale, slowly make your belly come back down to the ground. And hands will come by your chest. As we come up just into one cobra here, so squeeze those elbows in, chest off the ground, inhaling to come up. And then exhale to release that down. This time we'll come over onto our right side. So come on to the right hip. Right arm will be out to your side. And use those left fingertips in front of you somewhere to find stability. And again, play around, find that edge, the point that just feels spot on for the right side of your body. We'll just be here for a minute. Make sure you're not sagging in that shoulder, so we keep the integrity of that shoulder joint safe. Take one last inhale deep into the right side of those ribs. And then exhale, bring that torso back down to the ground. Except for this time, we're going to come back into child's pose. So push your way up. And then you can open those knees. I'll give you a choice. Open those knees, or you can go into traditional child's pose with your knees together. I prefer to have mine out to the edge of the mat, toes together, and then sit back down. And then once you get here, instead of having your hands extended or by the side, make prayer hands with your hands, and then bring them to the back of your head. So it's called Anjali Balasana. And again, if you need to use a block for your forehead, feel free to do that. And we'll be here for 2 minutes. It's a great time to turn inward as we're curled down toward the ground. Take one final deep breath. Feel that breath connect with those legs, and then slowly release those hands down to the ground. And then we'll begin to walk yourself up so that you're sitting on your feet. And then come up so that you're 3/4 of the way to the front of your mat, and tuck those feet behind you, and then have a seat onto your bottom. Now we're going to slip into probably the hardest part, which is restorative yoga. So come to lie on your back, making sure that you'll have your block handy somewhere so that it's within reach, so you don't have to get up. And begin to lie back all the way down, keeping those knees bent and in toward the bottom. And then teepee those knees in toward one another so they knock in and they rest on one another. So the feet are at the outer edge of your yoga mat. And now is a good time, if you're getting chilly, to put on those socks, put on those sweaters, because we're going to start to cool down. This pose is called constructive rest. And like I mentioned before, the goal for this portion of our class today will be to become as weightless and still and without sensation of the body as possible. So if you feel comfortable, you can close those eyes, or you can even take an eye pillow if you brought one, or a towel or a shirt or whatever you have handy, and place it over those eyes, because there's nothing to see. There's only to do right now. And your one assignment is to become weightless, without sensation in the body anywhere. And how hard is that, to become still? We're going to remain here for 4 more minutes. So just allow your breath to carry you deeper and deeper into this pose of constructive rest. I read a beautiful excerpt out of a book this week, and it's called The Quilt. And it says, "Let your body spread like a beautiful quilt, empty of muscular tension. Feel the weight of the bones heavy, Feel your organs sink to the back of your body, slowing down as if you were autumn leaves falling. Feel yourself floating downward, earthbound, rooting the body. So that is our assignment in the final moments of this class for the restorative portion, is to root down and fall into the stillness of the pose. Now take one full breath here, nice and deep. And then as you exhale, start to bring those feet in towards center. So you're coming like into a bridge pose. So bring those heels in a little bit toward your bottom. This is the time to grab that block, because you're going to lift your torso off the ground and you're going to place that block right under the sacrum, the lower part of your back. Choose your height. I don't think we need to go too deep today, but you can do the low height or the medium. Just make sure you're nice and stable in the back before you lower down, right on the edge of your lower back. So right above the bum cheeks there. Supported bridge. We'll be here for a few moments. See how still you can become in this pose. Take one last deep inhale here and say goodbye to this one. And on the exhale, reach below you and grab that block and slowly and gently lower the spine down to the ground. And just take a moment to let that spine reacclimate and let it fall into the ground. Take any gentle movement that feels good to you. And then bend those knees in toward the midline, bringing them in. And then drop both knees over to the right side. So we're coming into a bent knee twist to the right. So you can take those arms and either cactus them, or you can lie them flat, like straight out along the side of you. And just let those knees rest over to the right. Feel free to take a block if you need to place it under the right leg. Again, not looking for any sensation here, just total relaxation. And then you can keep your eyes closed as you take an inhale here. And on the exhale, you slowly bring those knees in towards center, and we'll switch to the opposite side. So dropping the knees to the left, maybe taking your block with you, and just getting comfortable in the twist to the left. Giving yourself the permission to let go in this moment. And then take one more deep inhale here. And on the exhale, bring those knees in toward the midline one last time. Maybe squeeze those knees and give yourself a big hug, taking another inhale. And on the exhale, release into Shavasana. So your legs will open out. Toes will point to the outer edges of the yoga mat. Palms can face the sky. Take up some space. Maybe place something over your eyes for our final restorative pose, Shavasana. And before you slip into total stillness, I have one more poem about letting go. She let go. Without a thought or a word, she let go. She let go of the fear. She let go of the judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons. Wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry, she just let go. She didn't ask anyone for their advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She didn't research the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all of the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her day timer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step treatment. She didn't call the prayer line. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. There was no one around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it is just that. And in the space of letting go, she let it all be. A small smile came over her face. A light breeze blew through her, and the sun and the moon shone forevermore. So with those words and the spirit of aparigraha, which means to not hold on to or be attached to, take the last few minutes of this restorative shavasana to fully and completely let go. So slowly start to awaken your body back to the sensation of the ground supporting your body. And instead of rushing up, we're going to embody that stillness that we've fallen into. And you can just take your time to come out of this position today. So I thank you for practicing with me for Fall Into Stillness.